This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Powerless, a call for help from tenants of a Halifax apartment building that has gone without electricity for nearly 2 weeks.
Opposition parties accuse Premier Tim Houston and his cabinet of ducking scrutiny from the press gallery.
And Fisher's Memorial, 100 years of honoring those lost at sea.
Quiet conditions for Tuesday with lots of sunshine. We've got another system approaching with a few showers through late Wednesday into Thursday. Your full forecast is coming up.
Good evening. People who live in a South End Halifax apartment building are demanding some help from their landlord following a power outage almost 2 weeks ago.
There was an electrical mishap and a burst pipe that caused flooding and damage inside the building on Green Street. Many have since moved out. Some, though, are still living there with no power or water. Preston Mulligan has the story.
People who live at this Halifax apartment building say there was a flood on the 4th floor that sent water into the units below, some fire damage and a power outage. It's been out since August 27th.
My understanding is that there was some kind of a flood. I don't know what precipitated that, and thus it was an electrical issue. It sort of ruined the electrical system. And as far as I know, there's no timeline at this point.
Building managers Templeton didn't return our calls. Some tenants say they were given 5 days to clear out their apartment and find another place to live while repairs are happening.
Nothing about them providing us with any solutions, any contacts of people to get help. Just it's all on us to deal with the relocation, to deal with the money incurred that we have to spend during all this, and to find a place in a city that's already pretty hard to find housing.
Mackay and his partner were told to be out by Monday. They say they're not leaving until Thursday. Mackay says he pulled money from his account so the landlords couldn't collect rent for this month. He's since paid.
It's so unfathomable to me that they could even still allow rent to be taken out when almost the entire building has moved out and they've given us specifically notice to vacate the premises. I don't know how one of their first things was rent will be voided for September because they've stated themselves this property is uninhabitable.
Dow Legal Aid says there is no requirement for landlords to find tenants a temporary place to stay or even cover costs like damaged property or spoiled food. Any tenant forced out is entitled, though, to a break on rent.
If you're paying for a service, like you're paying rent to live somewhere, and that service isn't being provided, then you're entitled to money back on your rent, so either in whole or in part.
Other tenants here say better communication would go a long way.
Just to feel safe in my building, just to feel safe in that I feel cared for by my landlord.
Meanwhile, HRM has ordered the landlord to take immediate action. Preston Mulligan, CBC News, Halifax.
More people who have been displaced by the Long Lake wildfire in Annapolis County can now go home. Officials lifted the evacuation order today for 22 addresses, 19 of them residential along Morse, Thorne, and Neves roads. The wildfire is also now officially classified as being held at just under 8,500 hectares.
That means that the fire is not likely to grow or move as long as conditions don't change. It is still not under control. It could still grow if conditions were to worsen again. But with all the work that's been taking place and all the containment lines in place and holding well, it has been changed to being held.
Re-entry for those displaced residents will begin Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Evacuation orders are still in place for 100 addresses on sections of West Dalhousie Road, all of Heartland Road and Medicraft Lane, and parts of Thorne Road. DNR says the fire will have to be under control before those residents can go home.
Halifax Water says it will impose mandatory water conservation measures sometime this week due to low water levels. And violations of the mandatory measures could mean fines or even loss of water service. Halifax Water issued a voluntary water conservation notice early last month, but water levels in Lake Major and Pockwalk Lake haven't improved despite some recent rain. The utility says the lack of uptake by the public, combined with less snowfall last winter and an extremely dry summer, has prompted the need to make restrictions mandatory. Halifax Water is working with the municipality to determine how the measures will be enforced.
With much of the country experiencing abnormally dry conditions, many Canadians are looking for ways to conserve water. And as Kayla Hounsell explains, some here in Nova Scotia are calling on governments to do more planning for the long-term effects of climate change.
We think it's about 200 years old.
Letha Haysom says this is the first time she's ever been able to see the bottom of her well on Nova Scotia's South Shore.
I think it's about 35 feet deep.
She's trying to conserve water. Heading to a nearby provincial park to take a shower. Saving up dirty clothes to take to a laundromat 16 kilometers away. It's swamped with others also trying to prevent their wells from running dry, which got her thinking.
If we keep consuming our water at the same rate, but just going to a different spot to consume it, we're still affecting the same water table and the same watershed.
As parts of the Maritimes grapple with the driest summer on record, she's calling on governments for more effective plans for long-term water conservation. Some municipalities have already issued mandatory water restrictions, prohibiting the use of outdoor water and threatening to cut it off altogether if residents don't comply.
We all pay taxes, and yet you're going to threaten me with shutting my water off? We're the ones that have to deal with it because the powers that be haven't planned accordingly.
We're not as much water rich as we think.
This expert says Canada needs more efficient water distribution pipes, homes designed to capture rainwater, and more tiered water pricing, where the price per unit increases when someone uses more.
The price of the water is one of the cheapest in Canada, and so that kind of feeds the behavior that it is normal to waste a lot of water. In Europe, you wouldn't do that because it is expensive, it hurts your wallet.
Haysom is hoping for rain and trying to be more mindful of how her water usage affects her wider community. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Crosstown, Nova Scotia.
And some of us got a little bit of rain. Let's see how much more is in the forecast.
Yes, hopefully a little bit more at least.
Yeah, that South Shore region actually did pretty good yesterday into this morning. As we look at the rainfall recap, Tom and Amy, thanks so much. That South Shore region generally in that 15 to 20, 25 range. Halifax around 10 to 20 millimeters. Keji 22, Port Maitland. Actually, that was a Yarmouth station there, 35 millimeters there. Not so much Cape Breton, the North Shore, and sticking out like a sore thumb here is the valley, particularly western areas of the valley. Wolfville did okay, but down through Middleton, Greenwood, back towards Annapolis Royal, Bear River, Digby County, that area, again, it just cannot buy a substantial shot here. And so we wait again for the next system. And as we watch the timeline here, area of high pressure keeping things quiet for Tuesday. The next system will bring some showers in late Wednesday in through Wednesday night with a few more drops on Thursday. So at least a little bit. We'll break this down with your full 7-day forecast coming up. Tom and Amy.
All right, do stay tuned. Thanks so much, Ryan.
Thank you.
Conciliation is underway to help end a contract dispute between Dalhousie University and its faculty association. 2 weeks ago, the university locked out about 1,000 professors, librarians, and other support staff, forcing the cancellation of many classes. They declared their own strike position days later, and they've been walking picket lines ever since. The university's administration has offered a 6% wage increase over 3 years, but the Dalhousie Faculty Association was pushing for a 14% wage hike.
It's been more than 5 weeks since Premier Tim Houston and members of his cabinet have been available as a group to take questions from the reporters whose job it is to cover them. As Michael Gorman reports, the Premier's office says officials spent the summer focused on constituents, but opposition leaders think something else is up.
Over my shoulder is One Government Place. It's home to the Premier's office, the site of many government news conferences, and it's where the provincial cabinet usually meets. It's after those meetings that press gallery reporters, the ones whose job it is to track government business, get access to the Premier and all ministers to ask them anything they want. But that availability has not happened for the last 5 weeks. Despite ongoing issues with subjects such as healthcare, housing, renewable energy projects, and the bankruptcy of Northern Pulp. It's part of an emerging trend. Traditionally, cabinets have met weekly in Nova Scotia and every other week during the summer. Outside of that setting, reporters only get access to the Premier and ministers at the government's discretion. Things started to get less consistent during the tenure of former Liberal Premier Stephen McNeil, and the COVID-19 pandemic further complicated things. But Houston's government has shown less interest in returning to the traditional schedule, and there have been several longer stretches without post-cabinet meeting access. Houston's press secretary says the summer months mean more time in constituencies for MLAs, where they can speak directly with Nova Scotians. She notes that Houston has participated recently in wildfire briefings and talks to local reporters as he travels the province. Opposition leaders think it's more about the Premier trying to duck scrutiny, forcing reporters and opposition MLAs to resort to other means to get answers.
We have a number of FOIPOPs, for instance, that have taught us things about what's happening in housing, what's happening in other areas of the government. These aren't things that had press releases or shiny videos. They're things that we had to dig and ask about. That's what the media does. That's what we do.
The interim Liberal leader says he's never seen this long of a stretch between availabilities and worries something else might be at play.
I go back to the conversation we were having when they first formed government. You know, you remember the government sent a letter to Nova Scotians asking for support, and in that letter, they talked about actually bypassing the media. So I hope that this is not a continuation of that philosophy that the government wanted to push then.
The Premier's office says it is committed to returning to regular post-cabinet meeting availability, but not for another week. Michael Gorman, CBC News, Halifax.
The Prime Minister continues to roll out tariff relief for Canadian workers and businesses as part of its regional tariff response initiative. Mark Carney was in St. John's today, where he announced targeted help for Atlantic Canada industries.
Today, I'm proud to announce that $80 million of that funding will be dedicated to businesses right here in Atlantic Canada. So equipping Atlantic Canadian businesses with the tools they need to respond to new challenges, to innovate, to modernize, to expand operations and customer bases, to take full advantage of new opportunities.
Mark Carney says this funding will maintain the strength of Canada's ocean economy on the East Coast.
Nova Scotia's Cliffs of Fundy Geopark has regained its UNESCO Global Geopark status for another 4 years. The park's status was at risk when an assessment in 2023 found they needed to make several improvements. UNESCO Global Geoparks are sites of both geological and cultural significance. The Cliffs of Fundy is home to the world's highest tides.
Felix Auger-Aliassime has withdrawn from Canada's upcoming Davis Cup in Halifax due to fatigue. Tennis Canada made the announcement after his U.S. semifinals run. The World Group 1 tiebreaker is set to take place September 12th, 13th at the Scotiabank Centre. The Montreal native made it to the semifinals of the U.S. Open on Friday as the 25th seed. He lost to number 1 Jannik Sinner of Italy in 4 sets. Family and friends of Nova Scotians who have died out at sea gathered in Lunenburg on Sunday for the annual Fishermen's Memorial Service.
The latest ceremony marks 100 years of the event, and with another year gone by, more names have been added to the long list of people who've never come home.
It's the backbone of this community. But part of the problem with that backbone is the toil and the cost that was done by the fishers for this town to be what it is today. So today's the day in which we pay our honor and our respect to those who paid the ultimate price and lost their lives at sea.
And I think everyone attending today truly is thinking about the events of their own lifetimes. And for some people, it's deeply personal. It is loved ones, fathers and brothers and shipmates.
I don't know if today's generation, and even my generation, to be honest, understand what our generations before us have gone through to give us the life we have to live, especially in this lovely town. People were lost at sea annually years ago, and fortunately with technology and life-saving measures now it doesn't happen as often. But as we saw this year in February, there were 2 lives lost again this year, so it's still a possibility.
We have respect for what your family is going through, and we're here for you, and we too honor what you are experiencing right now and the loss of your friend, your family member, your father, your son.
And Ryan's forecast is up next.
This weather update is brought to you by Access Wellness Nova Scotia. Book your appointment today for free, confidential mental wellness support.
Ryan, back with us now once again. Let's get into this weather forecast. And by the way, I'm pretty sure there was nobody really complaining on Sunday when we got the showers that we did in Nova Scotia.
Absolutely not. It was a very pleasant sound, and it's some good news that at least a little bit's coming.
Yeah, that's right. A little bit more, not enough. We what we need is what we had, like over and over and over again for the next few weeks. That is not going to be the case. And as I mentioned earlier, it's crazy. The valley just keeps missing.
Yeah. I know.
Like every single shot that comes in, it's like they get the least amount. Especially, you folks from, even the Minas Basin did okay in and around New Minas, but like from Greenwood westward, that section there continues to be super, super dry. So we're hoping for you folks and back into Digby County that we will get some of that wet weather. With these showers coming in, you'll get into some of those heavier pockets. There is beautiful Burnt Coat, and yes, a low tide there right now. It is a fine evening out there as the skies continue to clear. Thanks to our latest system pulling away. High temperatures today, high teens, low 20s across the board. As we look at the temperatures out there right now, it's still a really pleasant evening. We've dropped a couple of degrees from our highs, but overall it is pretty quiet out there. The winds, still generally a little on the breezy side. It's at times sustained in the 10 to 15 kilometer per hour range, but no gusts. And in from the west as this frontal boundary continues to move out. And there's that shower activity that continues to track just offshore. And this front is holding hands with that next system that will bring another chance of some wet weather back in. High pressure moving back into the region beyond that, which is going to settle us down. And we're looking at a pretty prolonged dry stretch again, late week into the weekend, maybe even into early next week at this point. There's the temperature surging back up out west. You can see the cool pocket of air that's been forcing its way into the northeastern part of North America over the last couple of days. And as we look at the overnight lows tonight, we're going to be generally in the low double digits. Couple of pockets could be in the high single digits, particularly eastern parts of the mainland, back into Colchester, Cumberland area. Widespread frost looking likely in northwest New Brunswick tonight, by the way. So just a sign of things to come as we look at the forecast for Nova Scotia tonight. The clouds remaining a little bit on the stubborn side overnight tonight. And then we're going to see those clouds clearing away late overnight through Tuesday morning, becoming mainly sunny into the afternoon on Tuesday. We will be looking at that cloud perhaps a little bit lingering for Cape Breton and Guysborough County, just on the edge of this cloud deck for you folks tomorrow. Looks like we'll see generally a mix of sun and cloud there. Temperatures across Cape Breton will range between 18 and 21 degrees with those light winds, near 20 for eastern parts of the mainland. And back into central, temperatures right near 20 degrees. Onshore winds, even if it is a light onshore breeze, no matter. I mean, water temps are really warm, running 3-4 degrees above normal right now along the Atlantic coastline. Had my toes in the water at Martinique Beach over the weekend. It is definitely very, very pleasant right now, those water temps, and you can see the North Shore as well. Even the South Shore, 18 degrees, running a few degrees above normal there. And the Bay of Fundy, again, just so much mixing every day with the tides going in and out. That surface layer doesn't have a chance to warm up there, so that's why temps are a bit cooler. Now, as we look at that area of high pressure moving out, we've got the next system moving in, and unfortunately, this is just going to be showers as it runs into this area of high pressure, kind of falls apart, keeps it mainly to the south, though shower chances, indeed, into the afternoon and evening. We'll see some sunshine in the morning, and then that cloud will really build in. Thursday, we'll see clouds dominating, a few showers on tap, and then a little frontal boundary will come through on the other side of that system. That rainfall outlook not looking like it's going to be delivering a whole lot. More than what you're seeing here as the model is not cooperating. It does look like generally we'll see maybe 5 to 10 millimeters of some pockets with that next system coming through. Clearing skies through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, we're back into that clearing trend, that drying trend. Temperatures right near seasonal, which is good, and no sign of the humidity returning, which, by the way, it was quite sticky on Saturday.
It was, definitely.
Sure was. Okay, Ryan, thanks so much.
Thanks, Ryan.
Well, family and friends of the late Pat Stay gathered in Dartmouth on Saturday to celebrate his life.
Stay Day has been an annual event since Stay was stabbed at a Halifax nightclub 3 years ago. But this year's celebration was the first since a guilty verdict in the trial related to his death. Josh Hoffman reports.
Today we're here for Stay Day. It's a day to remember our fallen brother, the legendary, the iconic Pat Stay, and even more so just a great, beautiful human being he was, and friend and family member to all of us. The goal here is to just keep his legacy alive year after year and celebrate the incredible life he had while he was with us.
Pat Stay was known as a giant in the North American battle rap scene and a positive force in his community. But in September 2022, he was murdered at a Halifax bar, a devastating loss for everyone who knew him.
Pat was actually somebody who touched the community and took the time to have one-on-one conversations with fans and any-day average people, which you don't usually get with a lot of superstars of that magnitude. So that's why I think he was different. He really took the time out to talk to you, whether you were just somebody on the street or his best friend or anyone in between.
The mood is light here, but there are still some heavy hearts in the crowd, as it's been just a few months since Adam Drake was found guilty of second-degree murder in relation to Stay's death. Many of the people here were at the courthouse every day for the weeks-long trial earlier this year, hoping for some form of justice. But now that the trial is over and justice has been served, they're trying to move on with their lives.
It's always going to be hard to move on. Like, I don't even like saying the word move on. That makes me emotional thinking that I'm moving on from Pat, but I'm moving on forward with Pat in my heart.
Burns says she still has bad days, but gets by with support from friends and family. She says the verdict in June lifted an enormous weight off of her, making it easier for her to appreciate things like Stay Day.
The first 2 years were really tough for me. I almost didn't enjoy it. I was like, I don't want to celebrate this. This doesn't seem like something I want to celebrate. Maybe with the trial and the verdict and stuff, I feel like this is the first year where I feel like I can enjoy it and I can like watch the kids play. I was very blinded by grief for the first 2 years of this.
With music playing, people connecting, and Stay himself looking over everyone, he was very much there in spirit. Josh Hoffman, CBC News, Dartmouth.
Coming up, low water levels in HRM has Halifax Water looking to implement mandatory conservation measures. here at Lake Major, a big source of water for communities like Dartmouth and Cole Harbour. Halifax Water has been asking people to voluntarily cut back on the amount of water they use, but is now looking at making that mandatory. I'm here with Brittany Smith, a spokesperson for Halifax Water. So when might these mandatory measures come into effect?
We're looking at implementing these in the area in the coming days.
And when you look at Lake Major, how different is it from what a normal level would be?
We're down approximately 1 meter compared to a normal level. It's been such a dry summer, and we're also not getting the good snow in the winter to replenish the lake, so therefore we're about 1 meter lower.
And with it 1 meter lower, how does that impact the water table and how much water people can access?
So that's why we'll be implementing our mandatory restrictions to hopefully allow the lake to regenerate, hopefully get a lot of rain, and then we'll be able to lift those measures.
Well, what do you want people not to do?
So anywhere they can conserve, but really focusing on cutting back those unnecessary usages, like watering your lawn, washing your car, filling your pool. Those take a lot of water and aren't really that necessary. So, and being really mindful of the water you are using. People typically use 215 liters of water a day. Any way people can cut back is really appreciated.
Now, when you asked for it to be done voluntarily, I'm assuming you didn't notice much of a change?
Yeah, we haven't been seeing much of a difference. It's hot, people are using their water more, they're using their sprinklers, so we're not seeing a big difference there.
What about businesses like, say, a car wash? So obviously they're using a lot of water. Will they be restricted as well?
We've heard that car washes use recycled water, so we're really starting to ask our customers in our stage 1 mandatory to cut back on a mandatory level, but as we progress, we'll need to look at our high consumption users and see what they're using and see if they can cut back as well.
Mm-hmm. So you're talking about doing this in phases. Does that mean it becomes mandatory but not enforced for a little bit? How does that work?
So we're working on what enforcement looks like. It's going to start at mandatory for the consumers and our businesses, but then we'll have to look to see what other restrictions we can put into place if things do not continue to rise here.
Mm-hmm. How do you enforce that?
So we're working with HRM to see how we can enforce that. It could be maybe a fine, or we don't want it to ever get there, but we could be able to cut people's water off.
Okay. I know with the fire bans and that sort of thing, they've issued $1 million in fines, but only collected about 12% of that. Do you think just more of a deterrent to say, please don't do it, or you could be fined, or do you think it will be enforced?
We'll have to work with the city to determine exactly what that looks like, but we're really hoping we don't have to fine anybody, that people will just start cutting back naturally. We're also moving into the fall where people aren't really going to be doing those outside activities, but to be really mindful of their consumption usage.
Now, the mandatory ban on some of these practices, will this be HRM-wide?
We're still determining that. Dartmouth is a lot more susceptible to the drought-like conditions, so we're determining now if it will be for all of HRM or solely just the Dartmouth-Cole Harbour area.
Well, why is Lake Major different than Pockwalk?
Yeah, so Lake Major is more susceptible to the drought. Our intake system is in a lot shallower part of the lake, therefore we can't get that water out when there's still plenty of water in the lake, but unfortunately where the intake is at, it's more susceptible to drought-like conditions.
Well, we were chatting earlier, you were saying it's like a short straw and a tall glass.
Yeah, so we got our tall glass, and here at Lake Major, our straw can't get to the bottom of the lake, so therefore we can't be utilizing all the lake water. We do have a plan in place to be able to get that into a deeper part of the lake, but that's going to take some time.
And Pockwalk has a longer straw, you'd say?
And it's in a deeper part of the lake, so they do have that longer straw, and they're in a deeper part of the lake.
And, climate change is here to stay. So what is Halifax Water looking at down the road? Because we could be in this situation for more than one summer.
Yeah, it's also important that customers are doing this all year round. It's not just in the summer when it's really dry. People can be conserving water all year round to help.
And any thoughts on when the mandatory measures might be lifted?
We need a lot of rain and a significant period of time. Unfortunately, 10, 20 millimeters a day isn't really helpful when it's every couple of weeks. We need that kind of every day for a prolonged period of time.
So you're just going to be monitoring the weather and the levels and go from there?
And consumption levels, of course. So if our demand comes down, and we're able to buy a few more days or a few more weeks until we have to go to that next stage.
Have you seen it like this level before?
It was low last fall, just because we didn't get that. We're not getting those winters anymore, but not like this last summer.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your time. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.
Coming up, 6 people are dead and another 12 are wounded after 2 gunmen opened fire at a busy bus stop in Jerusalem.
And an iconic Canadian-made water bomber is back on the production line after a manufacturing hiatus that lasted nearly a decade. Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier, the Prime Minister continues to roll out tariff relief for businesses hit hard by Canada's trade war with the United States.
Mark Carney was in St. John's to announce tens of millions of dollars in targeted help for Atlantic Canada. Kate McKenna has the details.
With the provincial election looming, Prime Minister Mark Carney visited Newfoundland and Labrador, announcing $80 million of a $1 billion fund intended to help Atlantic Canadian businesses weather the tariff storm.
Help them not just to invest, not just to endure, but to thrive.
Last week, the Carney government announced new plans and money to help tariff-afflicted industries.
Becoming more efficient in federal spending so that we have the room, we have the force to support our businesses so they can invest for the future.
This relief, this $80 million, hopefully that it's going to be an easy process, not a lot of bureaucracy, and that businesses can get the support they need. But we know there are businesses in Atlantic Canada right now that desperately need this support.
Meanwhile, in Quebec, Canada's industry minister sought to reassure a major industry under direct threat. The United States has slapped a 50% tariff on aluminum.
The Quebec aluminum sector will get its fair share. And we believe that with the projects that are being discussed right now with Alcoa, with Rio Tinto, and with Alouette, it's hundreds of millions of dollars.
Today's announcement is a very clear signal from the federal government, the Canadian government, Melanie, that the government stands behind us.
Still, the federal government insists the fight's not over. They want to see these tariffs lifted.
We need to think about the fact that the President of the United States have decided that it's his economy will be based on paying for having access to it.
Last week, the Prime Minister admitted it's unlikely the American tariffs will be lifted anytime soon. He said there could be some smaller sector-specific deals. But at the same time, both countries are preparing to review the existing free trade agreement starting next year. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Ottawa.
2 Palestinian gunmen opened fire at a bus stop in Jerusalem on Monday, killing 6 people and wounding 12 others. Police say the attackers shot people waiting at a bus stop and at a bus that had just pulled up. A soldier and at least 1 armed civilian then shot and killed the attackers. Four of the victims were declared dead at the scene and 2 others died in hospital. At least 6 of the wounded are in serious condition in hospital. Israeli security officials say the 2 attackers were from the West Bank. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu later arrived at the scene. He told media there that, quote, a war against terror is taking place on all fronts. Hamas militants denied involvement but praised the attack.
Local media in Nepal say the country's government has lifted its ban on social media after deadly protests. At least 19 people have been killed after police opened fire during large anti-government demonstrations. Tens of thousands of protesters, mainly youth, were rallying against the government over its recent social media ban. More than 100 people, including 28 police personnel, have been injured in the unrest. Last week, Nepal blocked access to platforms like Facebook and YouTube. Officials say the social media giants have failed to register with authorities to allow government oversight. They say online users with fake IDs have been spreading hate speech and fake news. Officials also allege the platforms are being misused to commit fraud and other crimes.
Family members and friends attended a small private funeral of Giorgio Armani on Monday. A service honoring the legendary fashion designer was held in a village about 100 kilometers from Milan. Armani died last week at the age of 91. Megan Williams has more.
Italy is saying goodbye to Giorgio Armani, Re Giorgio, or King Giorgio, as he is affectionately known here in the fashion world. The Armani stores are closing across the country to mourn him after thousands of people paid their respects in Milan over the weekend, which is a city that he helped transform into one of the world's fashion capitals. Now, Armani is beloved for many reasons here in Italy, but one is because he stylishly changed the way that people dressed. Before him, menswear meant stiff suits, starched shirts. He introduced form-fitting t-shirts, not in beige or gray, but grayish, subtle colors with a comfortable jackets. Casual chic became a global trend from here in Rome to Hollywood through Armani. He also shaped women's fashion. They were entering the workforce. Instead of recreating more power suits, he created a more comfortable, flowing look. He also held on to his company at a time when many other Italian brands have been swallowed by international conglomerates. From his first collection in the 1970s to preparing for his 50th anniversary on the runway, he never let go. Italians didn't see Armani as just another designer. They saw him as a maestro of elegance, a teacher of elegance, a builder of Italian pride, someone who designed not just for the elite, but for everybody. And today, that legacy is on full display. Megan Williams, CBC News, Rome.
An iconic Canadian water bomber is on the production line for the first time in almost a decade. The demand for these planes is growing as wildfires continue to spread in North America and Europe. Josh McLean has more.
At this Calgary factory, a work in progress. This will be a DHC 515 firefighter, the first of its kind to be built in nearly 10 years.
It's really exciting for us to be bringing the aircraft back into production.
The original design dates back to the 1960s. It's also known as a super scooper, and you can see why. A workhorse for fighting wildfires in Canada and Europe.
That's why they've been very popular in Canada, because of the amount of lakes that we have. They've been very popular in Europe because you have the Mediterranean.
Bombardier stopped production in 2015. De Havilland acquired the rights not long after, resuming production on a modernized version last October, and buyers are lining up.
We expect more fire in the future, more intense fire in the future, which is difficult, challenging to impossible to extinguish some of these fires if they get large. So we need a strategy to deal with this new reality.
European countries have ordered the first 22 aircraft. Manitoba and Ontario plan to buy some too, but those planes won't be taking off until 2030 at the earliest. A worrying timeline for some as Canada's existing fleet ages.
We've got 5 years of what I call, spit and baling wire to keep the CL-215s in the air.
Water bombers can buy you time, especially when the conditions are extreme like we've been seeing, hot, dry, and windy. They buy you that time to get a handle on the fire. So that's the best use, and we have a shortage.
De Havilland says it will ramp up production if there is enough demand for their planes.
We're anticipating somewhere up to 11 a year, but if there are significant orders that come in, we're going to challenge ourselves to produce more to satisfy the demand.
For now, Canadian fire agencies will have to make do with what they have until these aircraft can take to the skies. Josh McLean, CBC News, Calgary.
CBC News is getting exclusive access to Canada's annual military exercises in the Arctic. Operation Nanook has grown in importance and an urgency as a warming climate and melting ice makes the far north more attractive to foreign powers. David Common is there and shows us scenarios the Canadian Armed Forces are learning to handle.
In Canada's far north, military helicopters are bound for a mountaintop. This area, so vast, an oil tanker spotted below is just a blip on the horizon. It is just the latest in an ever-expanding list of ships up here as climate change opens up these waters. At the mountain peak, the Griffin helicopter lands gingerly and ejects a small team of soldiers. They will live on this land for days at a time, watching out to the waterway below, because there are adversaries of Canada, China and Russia in particular, who are very interested in this region. There is certainly risk to these troops, alone, isolated, exposed, and in freezing temperatures. But their job is guarding against risks below. For instance, what if an oil tanker should sink or run aground? It's a disaster that Canada's Coast Guard here is practicing for, pulling a protective boom which would contain a spill of any kind.
What is the risk if you can't contain?
Of course, in the Arctic, there's minimal resources and infrastructure, and so the impacts of a large spill or potential pollution event in the Arctic could be very significant.
It also means that response time could be days, at least, It's why ships are required to carry their own equipment and deploy it should they leak or spill contaminants. The question, though, is whether cargo vessels would actually do that, especially in such a vast area where it may seem few are watching. On the bridge of HMCS William Hall, one of the Navy's newest vessels, the crew must watch for ice even in summer.
Went back with the tide.
Sub-Lieutenant Eric Muir-Cressman says vessel traffic up here has exploded with climate change warming waters and melting ice. But it's also made ice more unpredictable. And with that comes risk.
It's so random where the ice actually is, converging and forming, that those routes that used to be fairly consistent, like you can get here through here at this time of the year, they're jam-packed with ice. Or one that you thought was, closed is completely open.
That report from the CBC's David Common. Now you can watch more of David's exclusive coverage from the Arctic on CBC News Network and cbcnews.ca.
Artificial intelligence is transforming many aspects of life, and that includes healthcare.
Some therapists are now using it to improve efficiency, but not everyone is happy about it. The CBC's Felicia Adam reports.
So now it's finished, so just for this, we'll click View. And this is the data, so the information that was talked about during our conversation.
With the click of a button, an hour-long therapy session can be summarized. Treatment plans and patient assessments auto-generated.
That looks good.
Gavin Patterson has been using an AI-powered note-taking tool for almost a year.
When I'm working with clients one-on-one, I'm able to free myself of writing down everything and be fully present in the conversation.
Once Patterson has consent from his patients, he turns on Clinical Notes AI, which listens in and transcribes sessions in real time. He says all 160 of his patients are okay with its use, and transcripts are deleted once patient progress is logged, saving him hours he would otherwise use writing clinical notes.
It gives me a lot of brain power back, and it helps me deliver a higher product of service.
He's just one of a few therapists in Winnipeg using AI-powered transcribing tools. And while the program he uses does not record audio or video, others do, like Jane. The software stores the recording and is only deleted once the clinician does so manually. But even after that, it stays in its system for 7 days.
I'm not comfortable enough with my personal information, my personal stories being monitored by an AI engine.
19-year-old Riley Gerard is worried about her privacy if the AI is brought into her therapy sessions.
I don't know who owns that information, I don't know where all of that is kind of going. I'm just more comfortable with it's written down where my therapist has it, and I trust her with that information.
It's actually easier than even hacking into a website.
Anne Kavukian is the head of a data protection agency. She says the risk of sensitive information getting into the wrong hands is even higher with AI. She's advocating for more regulations.
Medical data, therapeutic data, this is the most sensitive data that exists. So you have to ensure that no unauthorized third parties can gain access to this information.
Clinical psychologist Peter Beeling agrees with those concerns, but says the use of AI could improve care and remove memory bias.
There's things that they're going to remember. There's things that they're going to forget. And in that sense, a scribe, it would listen the whole time.
The province says there are currently no regulations when it comes to the use of AI in healthcare and therapy settings. Beeling and Kavukian say now is the time to put them in place. Felicia Adam, CBC News, Winnipeg.
This weather update is brought to you by Access Wellness Nova Scotia. Book your appointment today for free, confidential mental wellness support.
All right, recapping the weather forecast, and yeah, showers in the forecast. People would like it to be a little bit more than that, I'm sure.
I know, but every drop counts, as you've been saying.
Definitely. And that's later Wednesday into Thursday, so we're watching for that. We're also looking at some sunshine and a pretty nice day shaping up for Tuesday. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. This one we're going to zoom in just outside of Lunenburg is Lilydale, and this picture overlooking Steverman Lake.
Very nice, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
And a beautiful sunset shot from Craig May. Thanks so much to Craig for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. We had some good ones coming in over the weekend as well. So yeah, keep them coming. This is about to be a really nice time with the leaves turning. Now, as we look at the forecast for tomorrow, we're looking at temps right near the 20-degree mark yet again. Low 20s across the board, light winds, a really nice day indeed. There is the front that's moving away, and that's been settling in, that nice drier air mass for sure, not having to worry about all that humidity. And then as we can see just off to the bottom of your screen, we've got that next system starting to crawl in, and that is looking set to bring some showers in Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday evening, and then that low will move its way out, and we're looking at some clearing skies in behind, and a little frontal boundary there that you can see bringing in maybe a few isolated drops again for Thursday afternoon into Thursday evening. Behind that front is some even fresher air, maybe temps into the teens for the first time in a long time. For places like Halifax. So we'll be watching that. And then you can see Saturday, Sunday, Monday, still into the low 20s, and that drier air really in place. It appears into early next week as well. So we'll hope that Wednesday, late Wednesday into Thursday shot can give us, maybe some rounds of 5 to 10 millimeters and bump our totals up even a little bit more.
Fingers crossed for sure. Okay, Ryan, thanks so much. Well, we end tonight with Wiener Palooza, an annual dachshund contest in Cavendish, PEI. Oh yeah, too cute for sure. This year it drew dozens of little wiener dogs excited for the big day full of activities and competitions.
The event was organized by the Atlantic Canadian Dachshund Rescue and took place at Marco Polo Land Campground. The day was jam-packed with contests for best dachshund and best family costumes, longest and lowest wiener, best trick, and of course a hot dog barbecue.
I like the outfit.
We heard everyone had a wienerful time.
Oh, did you write that yourself?
I didn't. I wish I did.
Well delivered
So
anyway.
good, yeah.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.